Hi, I wanted to talk about a book today called Elseworlds Batman Volume 2. This collects a set of 3 stories, totaling about 300 pages, about 100 pages each, where Batman fights Dracula, becomes a vampire, blows up Wayne Manor, everyone thinks he's dead, that they're dead, comes back, fights his rogues gallery, and craziness ensues. This is all set against the backdrop of a Gotham City that is neither modern nor old. There's a strange mix of fashion and technology, which I suppose it's an Elseworlds book, so that's fine. And it's a standalone book. You know, you don't have to buy any other books to be in the story for this, because it is an Elseworlds book, and they've done a good job of popping them all together. We will talk about pricing and availability after the flip through, but what I will say is I have got a big problem with one thing in this book, which is otherwise a fun read, and that's to do with the lettering, but we'll look at that when we do the flip through. Right then, we got Elseworlds Batman Volume 2, the vampire stories for him. So obviously it's a trade paperback with standard trade paperback dimensions. I haven't got this in a hardcover or deluxe edition or anything like that, and I'm not aware of them doing the Elseworlds Batmans in an omnibus or similar deluxe format with all 3 current volumes included. So you just got the spine there with a bit of numbering on it, then just a little bit of blurb on the back, nothing particularly fancy, and then you are into the book once you get past the liner pages. Now what's nice about this is you do get a breakdown of the 3 trades that make up the story. Obviously each of these is written by Doug Monch we'll say, and you've got Kelly Jones as the as a penciler on those, so you get consistent artwork and writing throughout. The first story is Batman versus Dracula, and it's quite adult, to be honest. This isn't like a kid's story in that immediately you have a prostitute plying her trade and then getting attacked. I'm gonna explain the first story, and then I'm gonna sort of tail off at that point because I don't want to ruin where this story goes, because there's some mad aspects to it. But anyway, you've got this Batman with his long ears, in his spiky cape, and he's got what looks like a bloody jalopy of a Batmobile there. Not my favourite by a long shot version of the Batmobile, and you'll see the way they draw Gotham in this is strange, because you've got modern aspects of it, like the fashions are modern for most people, but then every now and then you'll get someone walking along in a top hat. But I think that just leads to a sort of otherworldly feel, really. Anyway, someone is killing people, draining them of their blood, and Batman Bruce Wayne is being visited in the night by a dream woman, and he keeps referring to things on his back. Hey, can you see something wrong with my back? And people go, well, it looks a bit weird, but you never see quite what it is. I'm sure you can guess what it is. Anyway, it turns out Dracula's come to Gotham, and he is creating an army of people in the tunnels, caves, sewer system beneath it. Batman comes to find Dracula for a confrontation, and Dracula's drawn really well in this, by the way. He has various forms, and all of them look cool. But there is a group of fighters who come and intervene. They're led by this lady here, and you find that she's been slowly turning Bruce into a vampire, but not a full vampire. She's been giving him night visits that are giving him vampire-like powers. Anyway, there's quite a quick route to a showdown. Again, I'm not going to explain every plot point, but it ends up with Bruce revealing he's got wings growing out of his back from his visits, and that looks like a pretty cool image, to be fair. And he combines this with his bat suit. I don't quite think it really works with the cape there. I think it just looks a bit too busy, but that looks like a cool image. I think they could have thought that out a bit better, maybe. Anyway, it culminates in the showdown. There is a plan, and that plan is, and this is spoilers now, the destruction of Wayne Manor, and everyone thinking that Batman is dead. But he's not. He is resurrected as a vampire, and that is where we lead into our next story. And in these following stories, see Batman with his vampire abilities going up against his rogues gallery. You see him there scoffing down some blood because the thirst is upon him. It's fun. It's proper out there. I mean, I can see there'd be Marmite elements to this when you read it. I mean, when I was going through it, some of the bits I thought, oh, what the freak's going on here? Or I don't like that. But, you know, this is an Elseworlds story. I don't like that they make Catwoman this sort of feline monster person, like a sort of were person, but you know, they're making choices, and they're trying to differentiate the story from other ones. But look, it's worth buying if you can get hold of it. I mean, it's currently in print at the time of making this video, and I was glad I've got it as well, to be honest. I think I'm glad I didn't pay for it to be in an omnibus format, which is probably why it isn't in one, because I don't know that a lot of people want it, but I'm quite happy that I got it in the trade format. I got it for a reasonable price, and also, you know, I'm happy to have it in my collection as a bit of an oddity as well, because other than reading it, I do like to collect my books, and I know a lot of other people out there do too, and I think this is one that will sit with the other sort of Batman crossover books, sort of the DC Aliens crossovers, and that quite happily, as well, that's the time Batman was a vampire for 3 stories. Alright then, that was the flip through. As I say, bloody lettering. Those panels, the description panels, should not be difficult to read. They should be easy to read. Okay, maybe I'm just not very good at reading cursive, but I'm not going to be the only person who gets cheesed off with that. If they'd have just made it Comic Sans, it would have been so much easier. Or maybe a more legible version of cursive. All I can speak is honestly, and that's how I found it. Otherwise, good fun, stupid story. Availability, it's in print at the time of making this video. You can pick it up for about £15-ish. Fluctuates £1 or £2 either direction depending on when you strike. Obviously follow the tips in my previous buying guide video from yonks ago to help you out with that. Or you can just stick it on your wish list on Amazon and monitor the prices, which is one of the main things I do. I would say get it if you want a funny Batman story that is outside of continuity and you've got the whole thing here. Yeah, otherwise, you know, it's got some great art in it, some iconic images you will see reprinted many other places, and yeah, it's just one of those books that, you know, I think a lot of people might find a bit Marmite perhaps, but there we go. Please feel free to give us a thumbs up if you got something out of this video, whether it's good or bad, you know, whether you thought, oh, I don't like that book, or whether you thought, oh, I never knew about that, I might get it. It all helps. Thanks for watching.